So that comment is on a video that I just posted a few minutes ago, saying that Donald Trump's election in 2016 was a complete failure of imagination, and that his reelection in 2024, with 77 million Americans voting for him, knowing that he was a convicted felon, that he's an adjudicated rapist, that he has a decade's worth of fraud under his belt, that his company, the Trump Organization, was convicted of 17 fraud related felonies at the end of 2022, that he engaged in an insurrection against the United States Capitol and Congress on January 6th of 2021, that he engaged in 7 or 8 different conspiracies, criminal conspiracies, to try to overturn the results of the 2020 election, knowing that he was indicted 91 times in 4 separate jurisdictions. One of those indictments resulting in 34 felony convictions for paying off 2 women that he had sex with while he was married to Melania Trump, one while she was pregnant with Barron, for trying to improperly influence the 2016 election. And within those other indictments that he got, that included 38 indictments for felony violations of the Espionage Act, for his theft of classified documents to his golf club at Mar-a-Lago and Bedminster so that he could impress his country club members by showing them classified documentation that they didn't have the clearance to see. That he and his 2 sons had stolen so much money from their own charity to benefit children with cancer that his 2 sons and his daughter are banned for life from ever being involved in a foundation ever again. And on and on and on and on and on. The people who voted for Donald Trump in 2024 knew all of those things. They also knew that he was morbidly obese and a corpulent protuberance of a human being. They also knew that he cheats at golf. They also knew that his best friend for 15 years was the most prolific pedophile in American history, Jeffrey Epstein. That was his best friend for 15 years. 77 million Americans voted for all of that on Election Day in 2024 because they are selfish, because they are racist, because they were misogynistic, because they are fucking dumb as a bag of hair, they're gullible, they're cruel, they are loud and stupid, they are easily manipulated, and they are so incredibly easily separated from their own money. Donald Trump's first election was a failure of imagination. Donald Trump's first imagination was a symptom of the actual problem in the United States of America. The fact that a vast majority of the American electorate are complete fucking morons who are selfish and stupid and gullible. Donald Trump's re-election in 2024, where the electorate knew all of those things, was Donald Trump's recognition of that initial problem of how dumb and gullible and easily manipulated the electorate is, and they're stupid and racist and they hate women and gay people and trans people. And Donald Trump cultivated that hatred throughout the campaign of 2024. Donald Trump was never in the lead in polls during the 2016 election. Donald Trump was never not in the lead in the 2024 presidential election campaign. A huge part of that was Joe Biden, but a huge part of that is the fact that we are a nation of complete fucking morons. Racist morons who hate women and immigrants and the LGBTQ community and trans people and the disabled. But sure, Kamala was a terrible candidate. I disagreed with like 2 or 3 things that her campaign did. When she went on The View and was asked, what would you do differently than what Joe Biden has done? And she said nothing. That was an objectively stupid answer, given the political environment. But you can read her book and find out why she gave that answer, I guess. When Donald Trump spent 100 million or 150 million broadcasting his anti-trans TV ad nationwide during college football games, and Kamala's campaign decided not to respond to that ad at all. That was a dumb fucking decision. And when she decided to spend the last, 2 weeks of her campaign barnstorming America with Liz Cheney, I thought that was stupid. But she packed arenas nationwide. She packed arenas nationwide with enthusiastic Democratic voters. And I can't stand Democrats. I've been a registered independent for 25 years. I can't fucking stand the Democratic Party. I can stand them more than I can stand the Republican Party, the party of authoritarianism, fascism, racism, sexism, bigotry, hatred, homophobia, transphobia, and ableism. At least Democrats will let you fuck who you want to fuck and marry who you want to marry. They're still not going to raise the minimum wage. They're still not going to give you single-payer health care. But they'll at least let you marry who you want to marry without giving you shit about it. I mean, they're still not putting out news stories saying that teachers have litter boxes in their classrooms for their students who are furries, so that their students who are furries can walk up to the front of the classroom and take a shit in a litter box in front of all their classmates. Republicans believe that. Republicans believe that elementary school teachers are performing sex change operations on 8-year-olds, so that in the morning you drop off your son. At the end of the day, you pick up your daughter. That's how fucking dumb these people are. And Donald Trump has figured out how to take advantage of his supporters' unimaginable stupidity, gullibility, and the fact that they are so incredibly easily manipulated. Such as yourself. The people who say that Kamala Harris was a terrible candidate, if they actually watched the debate between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump and still think that she was a terrible candidate, it's because they are racists who hate women. There's no other reason. She absolutely destroyed Donald Trump in that debate. And anybody who thinks otherwise is someone who is fucking racist as fuck, who hates women. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. And you voted for that. I keep saying 5 years from now, we're not going to be able to find a single person in the United States who is going to willingly and openly admit that they supported Donald Trump in 2024. And that's why I think that we should be able to permanently, physically mark them like Aldo Raines did at the end of Inglourious Bastards in the woods with the German soldier played by Christopher Waltz.